Welcome back, Lightbearers, Guardians, Pilots.
We are once again going to be getting back into some Lords of the Fallen. However, I wanted to go ahead and bring up the patch notes as of 11.9, kind of just go through it real fast. That way I can release a video for it, and then we'll get right into the actual stream itself. But the start of the stream is going to be just going over the patch notes. All right, so earlier this week, we released our 2023 free content roadmap, showcasing the ongoing optimizations and enhancements we'll be making to Lords of the Fallen, as well as updates based on community feedback that will be dropping in the upcoming months. What's going on, Brian? Let me know if everything sounds fine. Again, I'm back on my CP at home, so every time I switch it, I have different issues to deal with, right? But today's weekly update introduces over 100 significant tweaks and improvements across the board. Alongside this, it also includes the first inventory expansion pass, a full revamp for the Sundered Monarch boss encounter, which should be interesting, online functionality for the Steam Deck, further HDR improvements, and we're also very pleased to confirm key quest items will no longer be affected by inventory limitations as requested by some of you. We've also added the option to hide damage numbers on the HUD for a more immersive experience. No, it's bedtime, buddy. Nope. No, sir. Oh, look at everyone getting into the slots. I need to add you some points over on Botrix so you can do the Botrix slots as well as the Steam Labs. By popular demand, while it was included in the initial roadmap released, we're happy to announce work has begun to allow to recustomize your character's appearance while in game. Currently scheduled to release this side of the new year. This feature will come with its own mini quest to unlock it. Let's dive into these patch notes. I'm changing some of the words because it's not written in wonderful English, but that's neither here nor there, fellas. Okay. Previously, unique items couldn't be picked up when the inventory was full. Now, key quest items and unique items will be picked up even if the inventory is full, exceeding the inventory limit as necessary. This applies to keys, spells, quest items, ammo types, gestures, etc. This change should also resolve any potential issues with quest lines where a required item couldn't be picked up due to an inventory full map. Additionally, starting from the patch 1.1.310, if the inventory is full, the items will drop to the ground so they can be picked up later. I'm going to lower this for just the time being. Definitely loud in my ear. I'm just going to turn it down. Okay. The HDR has further been tweaked to provide an even wider range of colors. Online functionality is now fully operational on Steam Deck. Steam Deck no longer crashes when the Scarlet Shadow spawns, which is the Red Reaper. So it's back to Steam Deck. Valve's drivers should automatically update when you start the game. Fixed a crash that could occur when accessing the Shrine of Aureus when switching to offline mode. Fixed a crash that could occur when quitting to the main menu while being in a multiplayer session. Fixed a blocker that could prevent players from finishing the game with the umbral ending. Optimized certain actors in the game to increase performance in several areas. And then I'm just going to read, because there's several of them. Optimized performance in Skyrest by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. In Upper Calrath Market Square by reducing cast shadows. In Castle Brahmas while being an umbral. And Penitent Path by reducing cast shadows and blah blah blah. In Skyrest by reducing, in Mance and Red Corpse Church for Wither entities spawning without reducing visual quality, and Lower Calrath by reducing cast shadows. Optimize collision meshes in Lower Calrath bridge area to reduce collision counts and increase performance. Fixed an issue with fog walls that would allow players to leave the Crimson Ritual area. Added music to Crimson Rituals to increase the tension in PvP. I wish they would just fix all of the crashes or the dropped whenever it drops the internet and doesn't allow you to connect. Improve the UI for finishing Crimson Rituals. Add additional descriptions for failed connections for Crimson Rituals. See, they added additional descriptions for failed connection, but they didn't fix the failed connections. Which I'm probably going to release a video about that here in the next couple of days, where I go through, like, I don't know, 15 different attempts and get like a whole 3 fights out of it. Improve the UI for finishing revenges. Stomping on drowners, hounds, and sparrows now instantly kills them. I guess that's whenever you drop from a higher area. Braided ring. Summoned allies can use more ranged attacks before disappearing. The ring it used to add +5, but now adds +10 with this change. Pendant of a trophy. Umbral sorceries can be casted out with insufficient mana, at the cost of wither damage. Equipping this amulet now also reduces your wither health regain rate when you deal damage. Withered health cost increased. This will also apply to the Loesch, the Umbral Eye of Loesch. So whenever you do your heavy attack, you don't get as much health back. Equipping the Lydia of the Gnome Eye. Use ranged weapons without ammunition, but at the cost of withered health. Your withered health will also be reduced in that instance as well. Hurt reaction sometimes triggered the wrong direction. This is now fixed. Bosses. Now the trio in the dark spot waits more diligently for the player to be in the exact arena space before triggering the whole combat. The Sundered Monarch boss encounter has received a full revamp, and as a result, it is more challenging, which just ought to be interesting now that we're doing the bows only challenge. I want to see how that changes up from our first fight with him. Achieved without tweaking his HP or damage output. Pure behavioral upgrade. It's simply tougher. Improve the hitboxes of following bosses to better support throwable weapons. Dervla, Sundered Monarch, Light Reaper, Cleric, Hush Saint, Reinhold, and Spurn Progeny. So, you know, we've been stuck on Hush Saint for a little while, so I'm curious to see how that's going to affect us. Enhance the combat camera behavior to prevent looking down when being close to a target. Light Reaper could sometimes get out of bounds in one of the encounters, leading him just leaving the fight. I'm guessing they're saying that fixed. Adjusted the trigger areas for the Skin Stealer boss to prevent the player from hitting from a distance without his reaction. Okay. AI. People the Children Curse adjusted and added leashing volumes. Mantle of the Hollow Brother received additional leashing volumes and added new ones. What is leashing? I'm curious about that. Added leashing volumes for all enemies in the cistern. Yeah, ain't he? He's normally the first one in, bruh. Also adjusted 2 triggers to account the edge cases in which enemies would be unresponsive if you traverse to the level backwards. Improve nav mesh and collisions for the Forsaken Fin when the fallen tree is. Where the fallen tree is. Changed nav link position for better navigating down one of the platforms of the Pilgrim Perch. Added nav modifier volumes to avoid the AI from taking dangerous path and getting stuck in the cellar of the manse. Oh no, that's the one that we were using to farm, I bet. I wonder. Added new modifier volumes to prevent umbral enemies from getting stuck with collisions in the cellar at the manse of the Hollowed Brothers. Add additional AI blocking volumes at red scope to avoid umbral enemies spawning above dangerous collisions. We want our AIs to be safe, or they might resort to their syndicate against our level designers. Okay, I guess that's supposed to be a joke. Tower of Penance adjusted and added leashing level volumes. I might have to look up what they mean by that. Same thing for Skyrest. Adjusted spawning boxes for the enemy encounter before the Lamp Hunter area at the Fitzroy's Gorge. Applied wither damage to Fortunatrix enemies. Sometimes did not cause them to trigger aggro on the player. Now they always react properly. Further refinement of leashing volumes in Upper Calrath Big Plaza. Skyrest Bridge, Pilgrim's Perch, Imperium, Abbey of the Hollowed Sister, Bramus Castle, new leashing paths on different enemies and encounters in Lower Calrath and Fitzroy's Gorge. The chaser could use some floating nav mesh at Red Scope Village. Nav mesh has been cleaned. Second pass, unleashing volumes for Red Scope, Pilgrim's Perch, Forsaken Fin, Fife of the Chookers, Tower of Penance, and Bramus Castle. Fans of the Hollowed Brothers had a new leashing pass on different enemies and encounters. Pieta now plays her upgraded Sanguinarix animation with better alignment, regardless of the action the player was doing before interaction. Corrected a nav mesh on Upper Calrath for improved AI navigation. Okay. I don't know if we should just read every one of these or not, but I'll pause the screen, let you take a look at them. Umbral, tweak distances, fixed offset particles, fixed bug, in which axiom items would fall through the umbral ground in certain conditions while transitioning, making them only pickable in axiom. Fixed particles occur when sulflay umbral bellies, containers, and sulflayable doors. So something about fixing that, which we had some problem with just last night even. Tweak some outer collision boxes in Bramus, Lower Calrath, Imperium, and Hallowed Sister. Collisions, adjusted collisions in a bunch of places. I'll stop for a second. Or you can pause. Lighting, did some adjustments to lighting in a bunch of areas. Fixed some missing lantern dynamics, a small camera clipping issue, and removed a couple of nails that were obstructing the camera view during Dervalis Phase 2 cutscene. We resolved the issue where the Imperium area name wouldn't appear on screen when entering the area. Okay. I'm not seeing anything major at this point. So I'm kind of skipping through, showing some examples. And that's pretty much it. That's a bunch to take in. But I wanted to start the stream with that so that I could cut that as a video. So appreciate you kind of chilling through that. I'm going to stop this video there.